Hi, I'm Whitney Morgan, Hashimoto's coach, gluten-free warrior, and creator of the Thyroid Reboot Method and the Gluten Gauntlet system. If you have Hashimoto's, you're probably already living a gluten-free life. If you're not, and you need some convincing, check out my video from last week. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the #1 test that you need to be taking every year if you have Hashimoto's, and I'm not talking about a thyroid test. But before we jump into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you'll get notified every time I make a new video. I've worked with dozens of women who are already living a gluten-free life due to their Hashimoto's. And the one thing that they all have in common when they come to me is an absolute certainty that no gluten is sneaking into their diet. I hear things like, "Oh, Whitney, I am so careful. There is no way any gluten is sneaking through." Or something like, "I'm definitely 100% gluten-free, Whitney, because I would know if I was getting contaminated." Well, I'm a trust and verify kind of girl, so my answer is always the same. Prove it. Confirming your gluten-free status is part of step 1 of my Thyroid Reboot Method. The only way to confirm that status is by testing. You can't guess, and you can't just take it on faith that you're gluten-free. I recommend that all my clients continue to confirm their gluten-free status through testing at least once a year. Personally, I test myself twice a year, but I'm a nerd. At the time of this recording, there are 2 tests currently on the market that will give accurate results regarding your gluten-free status. I'm totally serious here. There are only 2. Just trust me on this. If anyone tells you different, they're full of shit, and I will go to my grave proving them wrong. What both of these tests have in common is that they test for adverse reactions to a variety of peptides of wheat and of gluten. They also measure reactivity to the toxic lectin in wheat, and also to several enzymes that provide insight into autoimmune risk factors and damage to your gut lining. Both tests are highly sensitive and specific. They are hands down the most thorough tests available if you want to determine whether or not you are sensitive to wheat and gluten, and whether or not you are continuing to be contaminated with wheat and gluten after eliminating them from your diet. Have you gone gluten-free because of a Hashimoto's diagnosis? If so, drop your favorite emoji in the comments below. The test I want to tell you about first has been around the longest. It's got a tongue twister of a name. It's called the Wheat Gluten Proteome Reactivity and Autoimmunity Screen, and it was developed by Cyrex Laboratories. It's more commonly referred to as the Cyrex Array 3X. Now, I used to use the Cyrex Array 3X exclusively with all of my clients. But within the last couple of years, a new test has hit the market. It's called the Wheat Zoomer, and it was developed by Vibrant Wellness Lab. Of these 2 tests, the Wheat Zoomer has become my favorite. I now use it exclusively with all of my clients. It's my favorite for 3 reasons. First, it's significantly cheaper. Second, in addition to testing for reaction to those enzymes and peptides of wheat and gluten, the Wheat Zoomer also contains a separate panel that specifically tests for leaky gut. And finally, the Wheat Zoomer provides additional data that allows a trained practitioner like myself to identify any potentially false negative results. If you have Hashimoto's and you want to make sure that wheat and gluten are not sneaking through your defenses, you definitely want to be running one of these labs on yourself at least once a year. If after running one of these labs, you find out that wheat and gluten are still sneaking through, you might want to get serious about making your house a gluten-free zone. And one way you can do that is to enroll in my Gluten Gauntlet mini course and get the gluten-free house you deserve in just 5 weeks. To learn more about the course, you can check out the link that I provide in the video description. If you're watching on Instagram, just head over to my bio link. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, you can let me know by liking it, subscribing to my channel, or sharing this video with a friend who has Hashimoto's, or maybe a friend that's just struggling in their gluten-free life. And as always, if you have questions, please leave them for me in the comments. I do my best to answer each and every one. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week. Bye.